Hey, you guys know that feeling when you know you need to expand your team, your business is growing and you need help on your team, but where do you find it? How do you know who to trust? How do you know they are trained in the areas that you need trained? How do you know the right questions to ask? How do you know that right person to bring on your team when you are growing? Oh my gosh. And then how do you have an effective relationship with that person that's going to be working remotely, because they're not going to be coming and hanging out in your office, most likely with you. So how does that all work? How does that fit in? How do we get to grow and grow smart and grow responsibly? We're going to talk about that today on the Aaron Strayer Show. So don't go anywhere. If you are on any other platform than the Aaron Strayer Show, there's a link right above you in the comments. Go ahead and come on over here. Say hi. We'll be able to see you and your comments and answer your questions over here on the Aaron Strayer Show platform. So click that link if you're somewhere else and come on over here, because we're kind of out there spread all over. We want to see you. So what are we all about? We are all about promoting, cultivating, and expanding amazing female entrepreneurs that are out there in the world doing things just a little bit differently. And oh my gosh, I cannot wait for you to meet my guest today. She's got a master's degree behind her. She is graduated with honors. She's a natural born leader. She loves organizing. She has her own company and she specializes in outsourcing. Hang tight, because she's going to be on board in just a second. Who am I? I'm Aaron Strayer, and recovering corporates and entrepreneurs hire me to get them beyond the basics of business, because most of them are indecisive. They're held hostage by their own fear. Who doesn't have that? We're probably going to talk about some of that today. And quite honestly, they are flat out complacent and okay with average. So I help them get past that. I can't do that. What's the next step? And I don't know hows that are clearly standing in their way. Bottom line, I provide executive level accountability so you and your business gets the attention to detail it needs. Again, if you guys are watching from any other platform than the Aaron Strayer Show, there's a link right above you. Go ahead and click that and come on over here. And who is our guest today? She's going to get her little 3-second warning. It is Holly Upshaw. You just had a name change recently.
I did. It's so weird to see my new name.
Yeah, well, congratulations on your wedding recently.
Thank you.
And also, you had a birthday yesterday. So happy birthday.
I
like,
did.
We're all in there together.
I know. It's a crazy time of life.
It is. It is part of life. Oh my gosh. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being on with us. We got lots of people here already. So seriously, master's degree, set out to find work, offered minimum wage with a master's degree.
Yeah.
And you said, oh no.
Yeah.
There's more.
Yeah.
Like, give me a little backstory.
Yeah. So my husband is an Olympic athlete. And so I moved to San Diego to spend time with him while he was training at the Olympic Training Center. And I had just graduated my master's degree in communication and leadership. And I couldn't find a job for 3 months of living in San Diego. I couldn't find a job. I finally went to a temp agency and was hired on as an administrative assistant, making, I think, $14 an hour or something like that. And I'm grateful for the opportunity, but at the same time, I knew I was worth so much more. I knew that I had so much more to offer, and so that's why I'm here today.
And so I don't think your story's much off of a lot of people's experience and stories, where you spend all this time and all this money getting all of this education to get out there, and now you find yourself with a temp agency making minimum wage, and you have so much more to offer, so much more to give. What was your degree in? Leadership and?
My master's degree is in communication and leadership.
Communication.
So,
yeah. So you said, the heck with that. I'm starting my own company.
Yeah.
We're going to help people and meet them where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
And so you and I connected specifically for outsourcing, right? Like, not only to be on the show, but this word outsourcing, like, I just want to dive into this, because I think there's so much information. What's outsourcing?
Outsourcing is hiring somebody to take on the tasks that either you're tired of doing, you can't do anymore, or you just like dread doing. So it's just hiring somebody to take on part of your business for you.
Yeah. And not only is it either A, stuff that you dread, something that you don't want to take the time to learn,
Mm-hmm.
something that you need done,
Mm-hmm.
don't have
Mm-hmm.
time or energy or time or energy to do it yourself, right? So
Yeah.
you start looking for somebody to bring on you board with you. So another term that I want to clear up is VA, because you own a VA academy. So
Yeah.
so let's talk about VA.
So virtual assistants to me is an industry. So people say they want to hire a virtual assistant. There's so many different forms of a virtual assistant. You can need a marketing, an SEO, a web design. There's so many different areas of virtual assisting that it's hard just to use that generic term. So yeah.
Yeah. So is it clear to say and right to say that virtual assistants are trained in, they each have their own specialty areas?
Absolutely. Yes.
So take that a step farther for me and what that means. Like, some might be good in specific email marketing, or some might be good in graphic design, or some might be good in, right? Like, I don't
Mhm.
even know all the categories of these virtual assistants that are out there. I know the ones that I use an email person, I use a graphic person, and I use a specialty person that helps me with my show, specifically with production of that.
Yeah.
Um, but I know that there's probably like social media specialty people. There's probably like all kinds of different.
Yeah, absolutely. So I believe personally as well that online business managers, OBMs, they fall within virtual assistant. I feel to a point, digital marketers fall within virtual assistant. It's pretty much to me people who work online to help you support you in your either brick and mortar or online business. So there is the social media marketers. There's people who specialize in SEO. There's bookkeepers and accountants, and there's so many different. There's a VA for everything.
Right. So with that knowledge, like, I want to take this a step farther. You're an OBM, an online business manager. You
Yes.
also own this VA academy.
Mm-hmm.
Barb's on here. She's like, "Hi, ladies, I'm hiring right now." Right. So
Yeah.
let's like deal with that for a second. So when she's hiring, like, are there specific questions that people should be asking?
Absolutely. So I'm assuming Barb's probably knows what she wants to hire for. It's okay if you don't. If you don't know, then a lot of times it's good to hire maybe like an online business manager, and someone who can help you kind of narrow down what you need within your business. Questions you should be asking the people, you should be asking about their experience, their results, kind of the ROI that they've gotten for people. Just kind of vetting them to the highest degree. And it's your choice if you want to have a beginner VA or if you want to have somebody who's like the most experienced. Obviously, the price point is going to reflect the experience of the VA generally. So that's something to consider as well.
Yeah. So as an OBM, the online business manager, would somebody come to you first for that strategy, maybe to go forward?
Yeah, so what I specialize in, I'm an online business manager, and I like to dive deep into people's business. I'm really good at going in and figuring out exactly where to outsource the next thing or figure out the next marketing strategy or whatever it may be. So an online business manager kind of is the parent person, and then what I do, I outsource things to other people beyond that. So I have a graphic designer on my team who works well with me. I'm not a graphic designer, so I outsource that. It goes back to staying in your zone of genius kind of thing.
Absolutely. And I think that's super, super key. Um, that's a huge tip, I think, to really land for people, is that VAs aren't going to be, or online business managers aren't going to be skilled, gifted, talented, zone of genius in every single thing.
Right.
And
Yeah.
to realize that. So where do you go? Like if I was to come to you and say, hey Holly, I'm okay, this is where I'm at and this is where I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like
Yeah.
my first question to you? Help me.
Yeah. I love that because I'm really, like I said, I'm really good at diving deep and taking on the brand voice and being like, okay, here's what we need to do next. Like, here's what would be really great for you. So I'm kind of more of a strategist in a way. Some online business managers are not that. They need somebody who knows what they need, kind of thing. But it kind of depends on the person and the personality you're kind of seeking out. Like I said, there's someone for everyone, and so you just have to find that right person.
Yeah. And I think that, some of the things that I wanted you to talk about specifically, you and I agreed on this is how to have that, like the tips and what to look for and those effective, what happens? Like we come into a relationship, now what? Right? Like what's that look like? I don't know.
Yeah. So
I mean, I know what I do on my end, but as far as, collaborating with actually an online business manager that
yeah.
manages those people.
Yeah.
What?
So the first thing I start out with is an agreement. So my service agreements always say, here's what I'm providing you, and here's what kind of I expect back. Pretty much that you're going to pay your invoices on time.
Right.
So it's always important to outline your scope of work and have that agreement and know what exactly you're going to get for your package rate or for your money. There is a lot of confusion in that a lot of times because people go in expecting one thing and they feel like the person's not delivering, but that person's message wasn't as clear. So that's the second tip for me is communicate often and communicate well. Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to stop here for just a second because I think that that's a huge tip is to communicate often. What's your recommendation? Like once a week, every other day?
Yeah, so I like to communicate once a week if I can. Sometimes it's biweekly, depending on the extent of the work we're doing. It just depends on kind of the preference of the client.
Of the both and both parties, and then probably the I would think like, okay, when's my ETA? When's my right of my project?
Yeah, absolutely.
The severity, not the severity, but the urgency of getting it done, and what that looks like all piled in together. I'm sure that there's lots of different factors that come into play when you're bringing that on and you're starting a project with somebody else and getting them up to speed and making sure, that communication is huge.
Huge. My master's is in communication, so I believe in it anyway. But it's so important.
Yeah. So like taking that a step farther, then what? Like what else is in that little tip scenario? Like communicate often.
Yeah.
Making sure you guys are all on the same page. Everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. So I use Trello, and I think a project management software is so important when it comes to, there's Asana, there's Trello, Airtable, there's tons of different options. Just find the right one that works for you. But do something so you have a way to communicate, not necessarily on the phone or via email. You can get it instantly. That's so important. And another thing is over-provide information. So give more than you think that they need because they might feel like they're lacking a little bit. So you definitely want to like over-provide, kind of overcompensate because then that communication gap isn't as big.
Yeah, I agree with that too. And RJ's like Trell to the O. And the different platforms, just like you said, as far as managing a project, those Trello is beautiful, where you can see it all laid out. You can put whatever colors you want on there to make it more appealing to your eye. Anybody that's on the team, has access to that, and it's a massive communication forum. But yeah, do you go over your Trello boards like during your weekly meetings with your people?
I do, yeah. So I run through all the tasks that we have on. So my Trello board's kind of set up so it's set up like to do, doing, done. So I move things across as it goes. And then on my Trello cards, I have like goal. This is my goal. Here's the pertinent information, and then any links below in the description part. So they have all the information that they possibly need. So it works well.
Yeah. And I know that, as the online business manager and these people report to, it's kind of like a chain of command, right? So you would work for me.
Mm-hmm.
The VAs would work for you,
Mm-hmm.
right? They communicate with you, you communicate with me.
Yes.
Kind of like that. Is that how that flow works? Kind of.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say, is kind of set that chain of command. So my VAs aren't going straight to you, Erin. They're going to me. They know where the communication line is drawn. And then I go to you if I have questions on either their behalf or my own to make this the most effective partnership. Just there's kind of the telephone game that happens at that point. So that's why it's really important to over communicate and get all of that information down into those project management tools.
Yeah, and I think that's really important to lay out that chain of command as far as how that works and how it plays into, it's like for me to have okay, I'm going to have this like 5-day event, and I have all these moving parts, and I need to implement somebody like you to take care of all the moving parts, right?
Yeah.
Like I need them done, but I don't want to manage them. Mm-hmm. So here you go, Holly.
Yeah. I love that.
Right. And okay, Erin, what do you want? What do you, like you clear up the specifics with me, and then you turn to your team to get those things done. So whether it's the graphic package, whether it's the, we're printing t-shirts, whether it's right, like whatever it is that needs to be done, whether it's AV, whether it's right.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever
I have a project manager. Yeah.
Yep. And it incorporates, a lot of the project manager, online business manager, scope all into one pivot person. You communicate with me, you communicate with them. Yep. And I like that. I like that a lot. Yep.
Yeah. It's fun.
So do you have are there some more tips on your thing? Because I know you said you had a ton of tips.
Well, I was just going to say there's two more. So record SOP videos if you can. So if you're doing something, you're like, dang, I want to outsource this someday, record your screen. There's tons of players. You can do it on Loom, QuickTime Player, whatever it is. Record your screen so you have the process down. So there's no question. So that's one tip. And then also, it's also important to note that there's going to be a learning curve. There's going to be rough patches in the beginning, because if that communication isn't clear, then there's going to be those points where you're kind of like, or the person you're outsourcing to is kind of like, I need to ask you some questions because I don't really quite get this, or, I want to make sure that this is exactly what you want. So that's tip number 2, is just don't give up immediately if there's like a rough patch. Just know that there's a learning curve in everything.
I love that too. And not only the recording your screen for the now, right? Like I'm so big on leaving a paper trail, as we used to call it. But it's also so important to go back and go, oh, that's what I did. Yeah. Right? Like good or bad. Oh, that's what I did. And that worked, or that needs to be tweaked and changed to something else.
Yeah.
I've got a twofold on it too. So it can be,
and it works well too if you have a VA, and if you have to fire your VA, then you have that process. You have that process in place, and you can just share that video to the next one that you hire. So that's also important to note too.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that for a minute? What happens if that relationship goes south?
So as long as the expectations are clear, the communication is there, and you're still not feeling that this is the right person, it's important to, kind of stay calm in that situation. Don't let it get the best of you. It's also important to provide feedback. Even though if you're going to be firing somebody anyway, it's important for them to know why you fired them, what happened, what your expectations were, and provide positive feedback as well. I would say it's in our industry, it's really important to have those kind of testimonials and that feedback and things like that to share with the next person. So I would definitely just provide as much feedback, good and bad, as you possibly can before you let them go. Beyond that, you can terminate the contract, but make sure you check the terms of the contract, because some people have like a 30-day notification period and things like that. So make sure you check the terms and just have an open communication or an open discussion with your VA or whoever you're outsourcing to make sure that they're kind of understanding why this is happening, but they know that they're no longer the person you're working with. So just be clear and open.
Yeah. And I like that. And feedback's a big thing on what I personally train on. And you can't improve unless you know something's wrong.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
There's no way. So I back that statement up like 150,000% as far as the feedback, because it's so, as a professional, right? Like we only want to provide the best possible for our people, right? And if something gets to be tweaked, changed, shifted, we don't know unless somebody tells us. So that's up to us also to relay that.
Yeah. Yeah. And don't lose hope. One bad VA experience doesn't mean that they're all horrible. So don't lose hope. Like, go dive back in there. There's the right person out there for you. Like I said, I'm not for everybody. I'm a pretty straightforward person, and people sometimes can't handle that. So I'm not for everybody, but I'm for some people. So you just have to find that right person.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's it look like? What do you got going on? What's it look like to work with you?
Yeah. So I am currently accepting a few new clients. Working with me is kind of, I'm so flexible. Like I said, I've been doing this almost 2 years full time, and I love it. So I'm so flexible in working with others, and I work within budgets and things like that if needed, just because I know that not everybody can afford the world. So I want to make outsourcing experience a good experience and get people like really working well within their business. I specialize, my whole mantra is getting people back into their zone of genius. So getting you back into what you're really good at and what only you can do within your business. That's what I'm good at. So
I love that so much. And I love the fact that you pointed out that you work inside of a budget. So I'm huge on that. When I hire people, I'm like, listen, this is what I have budgeted. Does that work with what you're going to provide? Right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And I might not be able to provide my, full-time online business management package for $400 a month, because that's unrealistic for me. But I can tell you, like, I can give you this much of my time, and these tasks, these are the things I can get done for you within your budget, and we can go from there.
See, and I think that's huge to point out too. Hi, everybody. Thanks. We got some new people jumping on. So, again, we've been talking to Holly, new last name, Upshaw, the owner of hollyandcompany.org. She's an online business manager and owner of a VA academy. And I think it's huge that we stay on that budget point for just a second. And the fact that, hey, you still can hire somebody like you.
Mm-hmm.
The communication's there. It's upfront. Hey, this is my budget. What I need taken care of. What is the top things that I need taken care of? And can you accommodate that within my budget?
Yeah. Yeah. It goes back to communication. I'm all about communication. Just be forward, be upfront, be open, and let me know. And I can tell you, like, that's just not feasible for me. Or, heck yeah, I can do that. That's easy.
Right. Or here's the other thing. Hey, listen, that's out of, that's not something that I can help you with, but I got a name for you.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Too,
I have a lot
right?
of connections and networks. So
yeah. And so much I want to point out how communication can help you in your business. Not only does it like expand expand you. It expands, it expands your and empowers you when you put that out there. Yeah, Barbara's giving you some love. Barbara's been working with
Barbara.
for 2 weeks and she's been amazingly great. Exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. When there's 3,
well, thanks, Barbara.
good. I know.
Yeah.
But that communication part, and I love that you've brought that up multiple times today, as far as the communication. And yes, that's your wheelhouse. That's what your like your whole meat and potatoes bowl of dinner is all about, is communication.
Yeah.
And I love that you continue to push that point in our conversation today. That's all it is about it, right? Like, hey, tell me what you need. Tell me what you're working with. This is what I see you need done. And yes, I can help you.
Yeah.
And this is what I see possible.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
Right? And for me personally, like, you being straightforward, like, those are my kind of people. Like, like limited time, tell me what I need to know. Tell me what I need to do.
I said, get to the point. Like, you just, like, that's how I am. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to tell you straight up how I work. So.
Yep. Focused. Hey, listen, this is what's going on. This is what we see. These are our next steps. Mm-hmm. This is what's going to happen. This is the ETA of that. Bam. Love it.
Yeah. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste mine. So that's the easiest way for me.
So, people find you at Holly and Company.
HollyandCo.org. Yeah. And then .org. If you want to schedule, I offer complimentary consultation calls. So if anybody's interested in that, you go to my contact page on my website and you can hop on my calendar.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can't imagine why, if you're looking to expand your team, why you wouldn't take advantage of that.
I mean, it's free.
Right. And to have that one-on-one time with you. Hey, this is what's going on. This is what I need. Is that in your scope? Can you help me? Mm-hmm. Awesome. Let's move forward.
Yeah.
Right.
Easy, right? That's what I think.
It's easy. Yeah. And like, I just, I feel like we missed a couple things on the list because we had like so much to talk about today, but we're like, is there anything that you want to talk about before we're done? We got like 3 minutes. Anything?
Well, when is it time to outsource? Right?
That's the most important one.
When is it time? So, like I said, when you feel overwhelmed, you can't handle your tasks anymore, you don't enjoy it, you kind of dread your days, or it's really important to know if you're not progressing and moving up, if you're not moving forward in your business, you need somebody to help you, right? Like, you can't do it alone always. So that's important to know as well.
Yeah, and Cheryl just signed up to chat with you, by the way.
Yay, can't wait to talk to you.
Those are when you sign up with somebody like that, when you're feeling overloaded, when you're starting to really dread walking into your office because you're so bogged down, you're working late at night, you're like milking the midnight, right?
Yeah.
You're on the juice at midnight, staying awake.
Yeah. If your business is overcoming your life, find someone to help you.
Yeah. Okay. So what's that balance look like? So like for me, I know the ROI is always the bottom line. Yeah. And is it worth it for me to continue doing it or to pull you on board? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's how I see it. I see it as like, you just kind of have to do it. If you're not growing, you need somebody to help you.
Right. And that little bit of, I'm not going to call it buyer's remorse, but that's kind of what I feel inside. Like that, can I bring somebody on that like gut? I don't know. Like,
well, that's something I was going to note too. I forgot about this, is that sometimes there's the occasion where OBMs and things, they offer a trial period. Of course, it's paid, but there's like a 30-day window where you're like, oh, this is not for me. You can get out of the contract. So that's easy.
See, and that try on period, like take it to the fitting room,
Yeah.
try it on, keep the tags on it, walk around the store.
Yeah.
Okay, now go check out, but you still kept the tags on it. You know what I'm talking about, ladies.
Yeah. You're letting you take your new Audi home for a day.
Yeah. And just really, how beautiful is that to have that trial period? Yes, it's paid. Of course, it's paid.
Yeah.
Like nobody expects to work for free.
Yeah.
Right. So try it on. Right. Call somebody like Holly into your world. Have a consult with her. Show her where you're at. Show her where you want to go, or let her go. Oh my gosh, Erin, you need to do blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Why aren't you doing blah blah blah? Let's get blah 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 done for you, Erin. Right?
Yeah.
And get you moving, because so many times we as business owners are way too close also to our own businesses that we can't see what's right clearly in front of our faces that gets to be tweaked, changed, shifted, helped.
Yeah.
Helped. Yeah.
Sure.
Ah.
And that brings up a good point too, that I'm like, if you book a call with me, I'm not just going to tell you what you want to hear. Like I said before, I'm not going to be like, oh, I can do that for you. No problem. I'm going to tell you if I can or not, honestly. So that's important to know as well.
See, and that's that's another huge point too. You want somebody that'll tell you, yes, I can do that. No, I can't. Yeah.
Not just tell you what you want to hear or what they want to sign.
I mean, we all agree on it, but come on. Like when it comes to the end of the day, I want the job done.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that. I love the honesty. I love the integrity. I love the get to business. Like, let's just get down to business. This is what I see. This is what I think you should do. This is where I can plug in. We'll stay in your budget. Let's go.
Yeah. Yep.
I love that. You guys, seriously, we've been talking to Holly Upshaw from hollyandco.org. Today, she is an online business manager. She is brilliant. She is off the charts amazing. If you plug her into your current business, you won't be disappointed.
Yes, you will not.
Yeah, take the step out. If you guys are looking to put somebody into your wheelhouse and to help you out with specific tasks that you're currently being bogged down by and pulling your hair out because you have to do it and you're staying up late to get it done, get yourself some help and plug into somebody like Holly that has resources beyond belief and can manage all of those things for you. So. Holly, Upshaw.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how that is. Upshaw. You guys from hollyandco.org, reach out to her. Pull some help onto your team, some qualified, upstanding, amazing help onto your team, and have somebody help you manage that. So thank you so much for being here, Holly. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me. I'm so excited to share this information.
So good. You guys, thank you, everybody that's been on live with us. Watching the replay, please hashtag replay for us. Let us know, and we appreciate and acknowledge your time and your effort to be with us here today. We're live every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern on the Erin Strayer Show, unless we're on holiday or vacation, whatever. We'll see you around, and we'll see you right back here soon. Thanks, everybody.